Hello, everyone. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you. As you grow at the Golden Boot, so do our needs, but we cannot do it without you. We ask that you continue to like our posts, share our content, and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms. You may also visit thegoldenboot.com for the latest merch. If you would like to make a financial donation, you can do so through Cash App at @Golden Boot or through PayPal at paypal.me/Golden Boot. We look forward to bringing you more laughs, knowledge, and entertainment. And again, thank you for your endless support. Sincerely and respectfully, the Golden Boot team.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back to another episode of HBCU Hour. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building. What's good, man? How you doing this
What's happening, man? I'm good, bro. How you doing?
This Valentine's Eve. Let me throw that in.
This should be a holiday. The day after the Super Bowl should be a holiday.
I agree.
I think the NFL should move the Super Bowl to the third Sunday in February, and then President's Day the day after. Let's make President's Day a national holiday.
You know Problem what? you might be on to something,
solved, man.
You talking some good stuff.
Get rid of Christopher Columbus Day. We don't worry about that day, and let's make this day the day after the Super Bowl, National Hangover Day. That's what we can call it.
I like it. You say get rid of Christopher Columbus Day. Yeah,
we ain't worry about that, man.
Yeah, I can think now, man. I was finna say, you about to get a canceled already. I'm about to say some things. But yeah, man, Super Bowl last night. Got some HBCU alums that got them some rings out of the deal.
Yes, sir.
Contributed all season. So congratulations to them. We'll get to that. Super Bowl brought about a lot of interesting things though. We're gonna get to it. I'm waiting for that. I can't wait for that conversation. Listen, I've been itching all day. I already been.
I can tell, bro.
I control. Listen, I break out. People say stuff wrong. I get the.
Been working on Twitter fingers all day, huh?
Man, what? What? I can't even. It's day before things. I mean, I should say Thanksgiving. Day before Valentine. I can't even concentrate on.
Either you was going a little back, or you was going way forward with that Thanksgiving, bro. I don't know which way you was going with that one. Either way, you don't need to do it.
Yeah, I don't need to do it. Not just yesterday. Listen, we're gonna get to this. We got this recap, this basketball.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's crazy tonight though. You seen those scores?
I have.
Alcorn losing right now to FAMU.
Ooh. They must got some new LeBron shoes that
chill out.
Get them ready.
Maybe they took the shoes. That's why they playing so hard. They're trying to get them back.
Hey, y'all don't play right.
Like the G, you know what I'm saying? Like Hugh Jackson did the G. We taking the LeBrons until y'all earn them.
He gonna tell, hey, y'all don't play right. Y'all gonna be in K-Swiss and Felines.
We're gonna get y'all some Shaqs until y'all earn these LeBrons.
No, I got one. This is gonna go back. You gonna be in them Starberries.
Oh, not the Starberries. Not the Starberries. Oh man. $17 a Kmart, bro.
Man, shout out to Steph.
Hey, that was a dope idea though, man.
I loved it, man. Loved it. Had the freshest PE shoes out there. All right, man. You ready to get ready? We got a special guest with us tonight.
Oh man.
Coming to you from HBCU Nightly.
Yes, sir.
North Carolina Central. Man of the hour, Mr. Josh Sims, welcome to HBCU Hour. Thank you for joining us. How you doing tonight?
Man, doing phenomenal, family. What's happening? What's happening, man? Glad to be on the show, man. What's happening?
Appreciate you for joining us, brother.
We are good. As you can tell, I've been in the fight all day. I ain't been able to sit still all day.
That boy turned over.
Hey boy, y'all crazy. Boy, I was listening in the back room, man, on the backstage. Boy, y'all crazy. What talking about them Starberries, boy?
Hey, he took it back with that one, bro. He took it back with that one.
Strawberry,
I thought he went far when he said the Shacks, and then he came with the Oh boy, y'all crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah, crazy, man. But yeah, man, thank y'all for having me on the show, man.
Nah, appreciate you coming. Appreciate you coming. And we slipping, man. We slipping. We first off, happy Black History Month, as we say every episode. Today we talked about Coach John Thompson, the first Black coach to win a national title. 1984 took down Houston, who thought they was finna get the one, thought they was finna get that old ring, and he said, give me that.
Actually, I had Kinfolk on that Houston squad, man.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. No sound
good.
Thoughts and prayers. Also, man, we want to let y'all know we are still doing this giveaway. We hit this 1K. We gonna give y'all this money. We trying to get rid of
it. Man, it's tax time. They acting like that.
I told you what's gonna happen. Listen, all it is new cars and them pawn shop TVs that's gonna be right back in the pawn shop next week.
You already know what it is, man. Hey, the mechanics loving it right now though, because they been getting all kind of people trying to fix them box Chevys up, man. You know they've been sitting in the yard all summer.
Hold on.
Them box Chevys and them Buicks been sitting in the yard all year.
I got that. I got that. That's all you see. I think of that.
Yeah.
Just need that new transmission. I got that transmission slipping for you. I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Just bring me back a 6-pack of beer. I'll be all right.
Man. What's up, everybody in the chat? We got Roger in here and our good man Dave. Not the Starberries. You know you had a pal.
Not the Starberries, man. You know, buying $2,000 rims for it. Exactly, bro. You finna see a whole bunch of that, man. A whole bunch of it, bro.
Not the refund cars.
Yeah, man. That's how, I told y'all last show. That's how you know that it's income tax time. When you see all them tweets and all them posts about anybody know a good mechanic, it's income tax time. They trying to fix up all them cars been sitting in their yard all winter.
Nah, I'm tell you how you know it's income tax time. Everybody actually checking the mailbox.
That's a good point too.
But let's get started, man. This weekend we talked about it. Great games. Listen, this Alcorn, Bethune-Cookman. We had G on last week from Swacking the Food, and he told us the recipe. Told us what Alcorn was gonna do. Yep. I did not see this coming down to this last second play, and it's alley-oop.
Bethune been playing hard though, bro. They've been playing some good ball lately.
They have.
They losing right now pretty bad though. Jackson State at home, but
Jackson State
Jackson State been playing some real good ball too though.
I'm more surprised
they got in the conference. They started rolling.
I'm more surprised that they winning on the road though, because Jackson State has struggled on the road all season.
They up 16 right now.
Yeah, I know. I saw. Yeah. Another good game. I actually sat down and I turned this game on HBCU Go, and I was glued. Alabama State, Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yeah.
Back and forth. State to go up by 3 or 4. Pine Bluff will come back. We saw a 6-point play.
6-point play.
6-point play. They scored, got a tech, got the ball back, and scored again.
Crazy.
Wow.
That's
a game changer. That's a game changer.
It was a game changer because at that point, Alabama State never trailed again.
Yep.
Yeah, Pine Bluff got the ball, but they made it close. They came down. They got that 6-point play. They came down, hit a 3.
Yeah, that's all the momentum they needed, bro.
Came back, hit a 2, and it was like 1 point, 2 point. So it was a great game. Grambling stays in the hunt with the win over Texas Southern.
Try to tell y'all, man.
Good gracious, man.
I tried to tell y'all, man. Grambling, they got something to say about that swag, man.
Yeah,
they gonna be in the mix all the way to the end, and I think that they kind of mad about the Southern game not being at home, so they trying to take it out. You know what I mean, and make the most of all the other games because they know that their biggest game left on the schedule is not going to be at home like it should be. So they trying to capitalize and make the most out of all the rest of them games. They're making the most out of the rest of them home games because they did take Southern bad.
Well, realistically, I thought that Grambling, like, as we got down the stretch, you talking about a team who got multiple, major level, not even major level. I hate saying that, but they got, 2 Power 5 conference victories. Just all during the non-conference season.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that they were the hottest team coming in the SWAC play, and you get in the SWAC play, and it's just like we just gonna beat up on each other.
Right.
I mean, everybody just gonna beat up on each other. I didn't see Alcorn. I didn't see that, man. I told G that I did not see Alcorn coming like this. I sat down and watched Alcorn in that game against, I think it was against Valley on HBCU Go. I'm still kind of like, bro, what are we looking at? Are we looking at an Alcorn basketball team that's pretty good? Like, I don't know. So I mean, we still got 3 weeks left in the season, but God darn.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere for sure.
Hey, let me ask y'all this, because you brought it up with the wins over the Power 5 schools. If I'm not mistaken, just about every team in the SWAC got one.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 of them that got one.
Yeah, because
just in that SWAC Pack challenge.
Yeah, SWAC Pack, and then Jackson State came late and beat SMU on the road.
SMU, yeah. Not really a Power 5, but yeah, I get what you're saying. And see, that's the thing about basketball is like it's not really a big difference between a Jackson State and SMU in basketball. Right. Whereas, obviously in football there's a bigger gap, but so I don't really consider that win. It's a good win, don't get me wrong, but it's not on par to, beating the Colorado or, beating the Arizona State or that level of competition. There's still a bigger gap between Jackson State and the SWAC and those Pac-12 schools than the SMU.
Right. Another game that was I guess you could say big for what it was. Southern got back in the win column. Ended that 2 games skid, and I think they got. I'm trying to think because who they got tonight? Because I'm actually trying to put it on.
That Texas Southern, they're losing right now.
Southern, yeah. So, I mean, they trying to stay in the hunt, trying to see if they can climb back into it some kind of way, and it might come down to that Grambling Southern game.
I mean, Alcorn's still in the lead right now, though. So
yeah, but they losing right now, though, ain't it?
Yeah, they losing right now. But I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna pull this one out against FAMU. If they don't, that'll be a huge shakeup in the standings, bro.
Yeah. Down 3
that makes that Southern Grambling game that much bigger.
Yeah. What? How crazy would that be? The West came down to the Bayou Classic and then
basketball
come down to the.
Wow. Hey man, it's just something about that boot, man. Southern Grambling is just something about it.
All right, now this is probably the game itself.
Game.
Yeah, this is another good game. Then this game,
probably the game of the weekend,
was great for 2 reasons. We talked about. I literally said. A&M, Mississippi Valley State. I was like, I want to pick A&M, but as sure as I say A&M's gonna win, Valley gonna come out and do something.
Sure enough.
And they did their best. They came out. They went into double overtime, and A&M came out with the win. But that wasn't the best part about this game, or the craziest part about this game.
Yeah, I forgot. About that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I'm gonna roll this clip. I took the sound out so we can kind of talk through it. But
bruh, this is the craziest thing ever, man.
As you can see here, A&M gets the ball and they're taking out, and the cheerleader jumped and bumped the player for A&M. This is Valley's cheerleader, by the way. And as they come back down court, she decides she didn't like being bumped or bumped into, and she made sure she let them know. Next thing you know, they calling security.
Yeah,
the play-by-play was confused.
Man, but this the part that get me. Whenever they show the security, look how many people they got.
I know.
They got about 12 security coming. It's the craziest thing ever, man. Like I ain't never seen nothing like this before in my life, man. Look at all these security they got.
Yeah.
And they And
they
I thought it was And we're gonna
man, everybody look confused. Like nobody know what's going on right now.
The security walking over there looking confused.
Look how many security they got though, man. For a cheerleader, man. Come on, man.
But it looks like they got a lot of
7,
8. It was 8. Man, that's crazy, bro.
I tell you what, there's a lot of people look like they go to Planet Fitness too. That walk over for that.
But I got probably an unpopular opinion on this. I blame the referee for that. That referee let that cheerleader get entirely too close to the court. That as a referee, you're supposed to protect the sidelines and keep the sidelines clear for player safety and for referee safety. And in my opinion, that referee could have prevented that by making all the cheerleaders back up a little bit, especially her, because she was literally on the court, on the playing court. So I feel like that really. I'm not excusing her of any, by any means, but I feel like the referee kind of let that get to that point.
I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I actually agree with you on that, bro.
Yeah,
like a referee's job is to referee. Like, that means making sure your eyes are open to what's going on the court. Like, somebody just walked on the court. Like,
Even when she was doing her
even when she was doing her little toe touch or whatever you want to call it, she was too close. Yeah, so all of that, like when he was shooting the free throw or whatever it was, like she all of them should have been 3-5 feet back. You know what I mean? They was all of them was way too close.
Yeah, man.
So I know sometimes the dimensions and configurations of gyms make it hard for cheerleader placement and stuff like that. But that even still, that she too close to the court.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I don't think that was an unpopular opinion, but I agree.
But you know how people go, it's all her fault. You know how people go.
Oh man, succotash. What they say? What they succotash? The MEAC. All right, Josh, your folks was cutting up over there this weekend. This Norfolk State, Maryland Eastern Shore.
Yeah.
I do want to say somebody on this program said Norfolk State to win it.
You did. I'm
just saying.
But somebody else picked the team that's in first place right now.
You right. You are absolutely right.
I'm just saying.
Howard escapes Delaware State.
My apologies, brother. No disrespect to anything.
No, listen. I understand. Like go ahead, bro. Go ahead. You can go ahead and say the scores, dog. This is what we do in the MEAC, man. We punch each other in the mouth and see who's gonna still stand up.
Yeah.
Let me pull up these scores for that. That was like that. Wow. Because I originally said, I was like, man, this Norfolk State, Maryland Eastern Shore gonna be probably the best game of the weekend. HBCU. I was not that Howard Delaware State came down to the 1 point. That's crazy. Hey, and now Howard is beating Maryland Eastern Shore by 22 right now.
Yeah,
beating the brakes off
them. Smacking them.
Brakes off them. Now I will say that we are currently beating Coppin State by 30 plus points right now, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, we don't want any points on that.
I mean, Coppin South Carolina State beat them on Saturday. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shocked me in that one. I thought Coppin would definitely pull that one out. So that was one of the biggest shocks to me over the weekend. But that was a great game though. That Howard game, man. And I don't know what it is about Eastern Shore, but it seemed to me like they kind of sliding lately. You know what I mean? They lost a couple in a row, and now they're getting whooped down tonight. So I don't know what the problem is with them, but they don't seem to be the same team from a few weeks ago.
Well, what it is, bro, is that now everybody in the conference, all the top dogs,
they familiar with
kind
each other.
of figured them out now. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can sneak up on some teams and win some games the way that Maryland Eastern Shore plays. They play a slow, methodical game. They rely a lot on their defensive side of the ball. They try to kind of play this matchup zone a lot of times on the court, or they'll try to play press, quarter court press. and really try to force you to try to put
take you out your game.
Try to take you out your game. And you can beat some teams. You can slip up and beat some teams. Dog, we was up on them by 18 at our house and found a way to start missing shots and not go inside. And that's how they end up beating Central. And you look at that game, they beat us, they beat somebody else. Anyway, they went on a run. Right. And now everybody has figured them out. And now, I mean, we keep it real, they in the toughest part of their schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, they in the toughest part of their schedule now, dog. They got to play half of these games on the road and find a way to win. And then the only really real game you got at home is now North Carolina Central got to come in your house and everybody done figured you out.
Yeah. The way you describe them kind of remind me of like the way Syracuse used to always be. You know what I mean? That matchup zone that you ain't seen it all year, so it's kind of hard to prepare for it. And you can't prepare for it in practice because y'all don't run that. So I mean, then you have to see it to understand it. But once you've seen it a time or two, you kind of know how to adjust and how to play it. So that's kind of what that reminded me of. So I don't know really how, because that's their style and that's who they are, there ain't nothing they can really do, you know what I mean? But try to just get better at it and and hope that they can take a team out their game.
Well, like, and then at this point of the season, like, you are who you are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every team is who you are who you are. Like, you can either knock down shots from beyond the perimeter, or you can't. You can either hit shots from the elbow or from 18, 19 feet out, or you can't. Or you can either go pick and roll and you can go. Yeah. I mean, you either can or you can't. And at this point, everybody already knew it wasn't like Mel Lisa Shaw was going to beat the brakes off teams offensively. Yeah. But you looked at that squad and you said, okay, at what point do they just like hit their ceiling and like, okay, like this all we can expect from y'all? Now you got teams like Howard who they going to shoot the lights out, man. They going to shoot 40 to 52% from the field every game. They just got scores, bro. Mm-hmm. And so now you look at that and you like, oh, shoot, Melodies are sure. Now we seeing teams they got to do nothing but just shoot their way out of beating y'all. I mean, you can get around that matchup zone. What can they do? So
that's the thing about how you said they got scores, but they got scores who can get their own. So they don't, like, you know what I mean? Like the beating the zone, you don't want to make a lot of passes and, things of that nature. You want to attack off the dribble quick to sit. And they got a bunch of guys that can do that, man. They got a bunch of guys that one move, they can get to their spot and score. And it's multiple guys. So one dude having an off night, all right, it's, we'll go to the next hot hand, So it's hard for a team like this relying on defense and a slow game like that to beat a team that's deep like that. But it ain't just them, though. Because if you like Pooh Squad, I give it to him. He been saying it. They got some guys over there who can fill it up too. They're not as deep necessarily as Howard with scores, but they could put some points on the board too over there North.
Pooh, you really feel solid about Norfolk, man. You really feel good.
I felt like they can catch you. They'll catch you. They'll come in and it's like, oh, we got Norfolk State, and then it's like
Delaware right now.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was just something about them. I was just like, I think Norfolk might win it. They might win it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not pay any attention to Howard. And then I looked, I was like, oh, Howard over there too. My bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Kenny Blakeney did a hell of a job. He's done a hell of a job the last 2 recruiting cycles, bro. He really has. He's done a hell of a job the last 2 recruiting cycles. And you know what's crazy is Kenny Blakeney is probably the first coach in my memory at Howard that uses the Howard brand in his recruiting pitch. Mm-hmm. I mean, he went out to Sierra Canyon and just took a kid that was really honestly probably could have went anywhere. And he went out and got this kid. This kid plays. He's like the 6th or 7th man inside of their rotation. And I mean, this kid can play. I mean, like, it ain't even about right now for Howard, like, as much as it is, like, they probably got a chance to be really good this year.
Yeah.
But they got a chance to be good the next few years. And it's going to be a 3-team race inside the conference. Regardless, it's interesting now to have a 3rd team in the mix with being Howard, because it's always been us in Norfolk. It's always been Central and Norfolk. It always has. I mean, as far as basketball, it's always been us in Norfolk, man. They go on a 2-3 year streak where they win the conference. we'll go on a 2-3 year streak. We win the conference, and it just be like that. But now you throw in Howard, man. It's hard to go in that gym and win a game. They don't have a problem getting on the road. They fans traveling for basketball. They don't travel for football, but they travel for basketball. They'll put buses on the road and come to your gym, and they gonna be in there loud, straight up. And that's Howard basketball. That's the Howard basketball that, keep it real, when I was a kid, you didn't want to see Howard because of how in basketball you didn't want to see Howard.
Yeah, Howard a basketball school, man. You know, DC, that's what they do though, man. You know what I mean? Like that's, you know, so that's in their blood there. But and I'll say this too though, like they got an advantage in the sense when you come to recruiting basketball. Anytime you got that logo on your jersey, bro. True. You know what I'm saying? That kind of recruit itself in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And then you throw in the fact that it's the Mecca, you in DC, you know, and the prestige and all of that kind of stuff. It's almost like your job is doing itself. You recruiting the school recruiting itself and everything that come with it. So the fact that he able to recruit like that is not that big of a surprise, but I got to see if he's able to, you know, get something out of these recruiting cycles. You know, I need to see him win the conference. I need to see him win the conference tournament or something along those lines, or it's all for nothing in the sense, you know what I mean? If you recruiting and getting them there is only half the battle. You know what I mean? You got to win with them.
Agreed. I agree.
Man, listen.
Don't count on it though, man.
DC.
This year I'm counting on it. The regular season. I'm just speaking regular season. That tournament, that tournament all bets.
That tournament, I think the tournament is gonna be wild. Oh my, swag side, the swag side enemy. I think the tournament finna be wild.
I think you're gonna have multiple overtime game, multiple buzzer beater game. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be wild, bro. All bets off in that tournament, except for South Carolina State and Coppin. I don't think they win.
I think the only tournament, conference tournament that is that I could probably look at a team and say, yeah, they in it. SWAT women. That's the only one. The only one I can look at and be like, yeah, they good.
Yeah. That's a wrap.
So
you can write that one in pen.
That's a fact. Sharpish.
Facts, man. They just solid, man. They got scorers.
That's a program,
man.
bro.
That's a program, bro.
Right.
That ain't even a team no more. That's a program.
Yeah. And you talking about 1 through 10, bro. 1 through 10 and some additionals. Anybody can get on the court that's in that program right now.
And what's crazy is the fact that she's able to keep them all bought in. You know what I mean? When you that deep, you know, you don't see really any fussing or playing time, or, you know, and if there is, you know what I'm saying, she's doing a great job of keeping it in house. You know what I mean? And it's not boiling over. So that just goes to show how great of a job she's done with bringing in the right mindset, you know, players with the right mindset of team first mentality. It ain't about me, and keeping them bought in through their duration. That's it's hard to do when you this day and age with the portal and all that kind of stuff, man. It's hard to keep players bought in like that, especially that 6th, 7th, 8th person on the bench.
You know what they remind me of? Or who she remind me of? Dawn Staley.
Yeah,
South Carolina.
Yeah. The way South Carolina got that thing rolling, because South Carolina was putting in people left and right, bro. It was like a hockey game, man. They were jumping in left and right on the court, bro.
We ain't forget about North Carolina Central. Went to Morgan State, Morgan State came to them and put a whipping on them.
Look, man, we at that time of the season now. Everybody they clutch their purse when they come to Durham. You got to hold your bag. You got to make sure, because it's gonna be 5,000 to 6,000 people inside the state, inside the McClendon Gymnasium, man. You know, my son and I, we were at the game Saturday, and you know, it's electric, man. It's electric, and I ain't talking about the dance. I'm just saying in general, it's electric.
Yeah.
You know, I hear Norfolk and I hear Howard. And I got a great relationship with, you know, different people on those staffs, you know, we're covering through HBCU nightly. But they know. You better put that purse close up under that armpit. You better put that bag strap a little tighter. You better lace them shoes up a little bit more, because y'all got to come see us now. Now, we went to both of those. Don't get me wrong. We went to both of them spots. And in both of them games, we lost the lead. I mean, we just could not make a basket down the stretch. For me, it boiled down to, like, first off, why? And then second of all, You look at a kid like a Justin Wright who has all the skills and the abilities on the basketball court for any basketball player. I mean, if the listeners and the viewers haven't had a chance to pay attention, go take a look at this young man, man. It ain't a spot on the basketball court he can't make a shot from or create his own shot from. And he plays so smooth, but he plays so slow that it make you a little irritated, you know. But we were waiting on one individual to really turn it on. If you guys look and see what he's done tonight against Coppin, we've been waiting for Chris Monroe to turn it on. And now Chris Monroe done turned it on. So now you got Justin Wright. You already got the 7-footer, Brendan Medley-Bacon, who's already turning it on, playing a little more aggressively, balling his fists up a little bit more after dunks now. And now you throw in Chris Monroe, his ability to be able to be a stretch big, really play off the edge. You can play on the wing. You really can bring him and play, you know, get inside and really play from inside out with him. I mean, that has made us solid. Then you talk about the fact that we got 2 or 3 of our guys that are back healthy. Nick Fennell coming off the bench, he's back healthy. Fred Cleveland, he's back healthy. You know, these guys provide depth for us. You know, I'm still waiting to see what Dan Oladapo is going to be to transfer from Pitt. Still waiting to see what he's going to do. But the reality is, man, it's now we at that time of the season where if you got to come to Durham, you better clutch your purse. You better put your bag, that little thing that come on the front of the bag when you tighten it up. You better tighten your bag up. You better, if you got the nylon shoestrings on your shoes, if you got, you know, whoever it is, Howard, I know y'all got Jordans. So y'all might have some automated shoestrings on y'all shoes or whatever it is. You better turn the pressure up. Use the little button that y'all can use on the Jordan to turn the pressure up. You know, listen, man, it's that time of the season. And this is the time where you see the genius of Coach Moen. This is when you start to see the genius of Coach Moen. It's down this stretch going into the MEAC tournament where you start to see, God darn, that's why this dude is – second all time. After the night, he'll be second all time in career wins in program history, passing the great John McClendon, who is, you know, the progenitor of advancing the game of basketball is John McClendon. You know, so he'll pass John McClendon in North Carolina Central wins history tonight with this 30-point slaughter we got on Coppin State, with an opportunity, you know, going into the tournament to become an all-time winningest coach in school history, man. So. It's a great time, man. It's a great time to be Eagle, dog.
And you brought up Monroe, and if you can get this production that you're getting from him tonight, you know, consistently, man. Y'all gonna be a handful. You know, having a guy who can grab 15 boards but still step out and hit 5 3, you know, 4 5 threes, man. That's a cheat code, bro.
That boy got 25 and 15 right now.
Yeah, that's a cheat code, man.
I think he's starting to assert it. He's starting to assert himself a little bit.
He's starting to understand. Yeah, he's starting to get a little more confident. Yeah,
exactly. He's starting to understand the power that he got, and that's scary. That's scary. Is when a kid like that with that amount of range and skill and ability start to feel himself, like, and not in a bad way, not like how Mama used to say back in the way, you feeling yourself, not like that. He's starting to really kind of get into his grown man skills as a basketball player. Man, that's scary, dog.
I'm just looking at, you know how ESPN had a little quick stats like top performers. I'm looking and I'm like, I don't know, Tuesday. It must be just that kind of Tuesday because South Carolina State, Jay Wilson got 10 points, 11 rebounds, 5 blocks. So he close to what could have been a triple double. And then, like you said, Monroe with 25 and 15. Then this kid for Norfolk State. Langston, 22.6 blocks.
What?
That's just, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, man.
And that's another example of a kid that's rangy. Langston is one of them kids. Like, he's one of them players, one of them young men who he can stretch the floor. I mean, he's got one of the best face-up games I've seen probably all season as far as just his ability to kind of just get right there inside of the space. And from a face-up perspective, he can make anything happen. I mean, he'll give you a jab step, give you another edge, and then right there in your face, right in your jaw. He'll, you know what I'm saying? But he also a back-to-the-basket type of player. But if he get in foul trouble, he basically, you know, he's pointless. But, you know, Joe Bryant is Joe Bryant. You know, Joe Bryant is 37 years old. with 3-4 kids. He got life insurance.
Got the old man game.
He got an old man game. He got an old man game. You know what I mean? So that's what makes
you catch him at the rec on Saturdays, huh?
Exactly. With his socks all the way up right below his knees.
Oh yeah, with the headband.
Man, that's Joe. That's Joe.
I'm just looking at. Oh boy, you scared me. And I ain't see Dylan walked up on me. I looked at the screen and his face was just like this. Look, he just scared. But I'm looking. Bankston's his stat line. I told 22.6 blocks. He got 5 rebounds and 2 assists to go along with that. So he is definitely having a night. So, let me ask this before we move on to this history at Langston. Favorites to win SWAC and MEAC. I'm gonna say tournament because
and which side though? I mean, the MEAC women's side is still interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna say men's. I'm gonna just stick with men's.
We're gonna stick with the men's tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and you go first.
All right. I feel like Howard gonna win in the regular season, but whoever win the regular season, not win the tournament. After the compelling case that Josh made, it's kind of hard not to go for.
Hey, listen,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
you might want. You kind of want to buy stock in Central. I'm just saying.
And I mean, whenever he's talking about a guy who just went for 25 and 15, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of help the case. Yeah. I don't know if I want to do it though, man. I can't give him that satisfaction, man. I can't give him that satisfaction, man.
Hey, listen. But, I understand. I'm
gonna go with Norfolk. Go win the tournament.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Howard do finish off the regular season. I don't think they win the tournament. I'm gonna stick with Norfolk. I do think it's depending on how the brackets line up. I can see Norfolk and Central playing in that.
Yeah, me too.
Championship game.
Me too.
Now, go ahead, Jai. I'll let you go as well on the next side.
I mean, honestly, I think
you gotta ask the man.
I mean, I'm gonna let it be official. So when we come back and we can clip it and be like, see, we told you. He said, he knew his squad, or we can come back and be like, I thought you said.
Yeah. Regular season. I got Norfolk.
Okay.
Norfolk's got to get ready to go to Howard. I think they're gonna be Howard. You looked at the fashion in which Norfolk lost to Howard, the first game, and something I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before in my life. How that game ended, and so to have Howard get out of there like that, it was I don't know. So actually, I got Norfolk winning the regular season. And come on, man. Tournament wise, I got to go with my squad. I got to go.
It's very competitive, man.
Not just because I'm alum, not just because I'm a fan, but because I'm looking at potential versus potential. If you match up versus matchup, the X factor is Chris Monroe.
Yep.
If he can give you 20 and 10, if he can give you 18 and 9 for four games in the tournament. You can't look, man.
Yeah, I mean,
if I balance you out 1-1, Joe Bryant, Justin Wright, I get that even. I give the Branston kid and Manley Bacon even it out. Somebody got to be the X factor. I'm going Chris Monroe.
Yeah. If you wasn't on the show, I would pick Central. I'm just letting you know that.
If I wasn't on the show, you wouldn't even pay us no attention, dog. I had to come.
That's probably true. You're probably right. You're
Yeah.
probably right.
I had to come in and sell
if you would have dropped them gems then left, you know what I'm saying? I would have picked Central. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You did a great job selling your case. I just couldn't give you the satisfaction, man.
I understand, and it ain't personal. I get it. But if y'all get a chance to come to the MEAC at anytime y'all get a chance, if y'all ever come up to come to the MEAC tournament, man, it's a phenomenal experience, man.
Is it Norfolk? Where is it?
It's in Norfolk. Yeah, it's in Norfolk. Yeah. So again, them jokers got home court advantage, home cooking, all of that. But it's not normally like this year, man. That's why. Yeah, and that's why a lot of people saying that top to bottom, they also got one of the top 2 best teams in the conference, and then you throw in the fact that They ain't got to leave their dorm. They don't got to leave the comfort of mama. They don't got to leave the comfort. A lot of these guys,
the fans, too, you know what I'm saying?
The fans is over there. Yeah. All they students can come right over to the scope.
Exactly.
All their alum that's in the area come right over to the scope. So it makes for an electric environment when you play against them in there. But if y'all ever come up with a MEAC, man, come check us out, dog. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
But it make it that much more sweeter when you beat them because they at home.
Yeah. We know we know that a little bit. We know how to do that a little
bit. All right, Sweat. First, before we do that, what's up to? I gotta say what's up to our guys at Down South Football.
What's
podcast.
up? What's happening?
What's up, man? As always, appreciate y'all, man. Swag side.
Y'all gonna start with me or y'all going?
Go ahead. You the guest. Go ahead.
Man, I think regular season, I think Alcorn still finds a way to finish it out. I think they do. I think you look at their schedule down the stretches, it kind of beads a little bit toward them being able to finish it out. But tournament wise, dog, I'm going Grambling, dog. I'm going Grambling. I'm gonna keep it real, dog. They look scary going into the tournament. And they start getting some steam going into the tournament. Ain't no way in the world. I don't see nobody being able to stop them boys. I don't see nobody being able to stop them. Maybe Southern, but that's it.
Ain't no need for me to go because he just said everything I was about to say.
So we were talking about Southern bouncing back, and now they down 8 to Texas Southern. But I do think I agree that it's going to be Alcorn to finish out the regular season. Down South Football say they got Grambling in the tourney.
Hey, can't go wrong with it, man.
Can't go wrong with it.
I'm going Southern in the tourney.
Oh,
I think Southern can get it done. So they find a way to piss people off every game, and I just think it's something they got that little bit of edge that I think could possibly help them get over the hump. We're gonna come back to this. I'm gonna be completely wrong. They're gonna get bounced in the first round by 30, but that's all right.
Yeah, man. I think Grambling gonna win the tournament. The only reason I don't have them winning the regular season is because they lost the head-to-head to Alcorn. And so I think even if they finish with the same record, Alcorn is gonna win that. So I'm not giving them the regular season, but when it comes down to the tournament, I ain't picking against Graham, bro. They got too many guys that can fill it up, bro. Too many guys.
All right. Langston University wins the school's first regular season championship. What makes this one so special? This was a worst to first type situation. So yeah, they bounce back. I think if I'm not mistaken, so far they've only lost 2 games all season.
Yep.
So shout out to them, kudos to them. I don't have it on here. I forgot it's a women's team. Tuskegee won the regular season title. They clinched the regular season title for the SIAC with their win over Spring Hill, if I'm not mistaken, on Saturday. And then there's one more team. I put it in here.
Fisk women still rolling. I ain't checked on them in the past couple of days.
I think that's who I'm thinking about.
Because I know they had only lost like 2 or 3 games.
If I'm not mistaken, it might be Fisk. They won 14 in a row and had clinched their conference. If I'm not mistaken, I have to look it up, but I think that it might be Fisk who I'm thinking about. And of course, I can't find it. I found it a million other times, and I can't find it now. Popped up everywhere. Oh no, I can't find it. But let's move on and talk a little football, man. FAMU great Ken Riley posthumously was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2020. His son said that it was a little bit bittersweet because they had been fighting to get him in. and now he's in, and he can't be here to celebrate it. Riley was also inducted into the Black College Football Hall of Fame in 2015, so he was able to see that happen. So
past due, man, past due. Ken Riley, absolutely one of the greatest we've ever been able to produce from any HBCU, but let alone, I know there's a great tradition down there, the highest of Sevens Hills. So good to see Mr. Riley and the Riley family finally get that honor. Absolutely, wish he was here. Much condolences to his family. Wish he was here to be able to see this, but glad that we got him in there, and everybody got him in there, man, because this was a big push from a lot of different places to get Ken Riley into the NFL Hall of Fame, so Pro Football Hall of Fame. So glad to hear it, man. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, rightfully deserved, and glad to see that he was finally get the credit and recognition that he deserves. Just hate that it happened to be after he passed, but glad that his family at least get to experience him in his glory that he deserved, and for his recognition on the field.
Yeah, he was he played quarterback in college, and then was a DB in the NFL. We kind of know how those stories.
Know why.
Yeah, we know how those stories go. David. He says it's always said a person. Oh, it's always sad. Yes, it's always sad when a person gets their due credit posthumously. Yeah, I completely. Yeah, here it is. Completely.
He must have been drinking a little bit over there, folks.
No, I already know what it is, Dave. Don't let them do you like that. I know how that autocorrect gets you, especially when you it only happened 2 times when you got some real smart and
you trying
profound, or when you cussing somebody out real good.
You trying to be smart to somebody and that give me every time. When I'm saying something I shouldn't be saying to somebody, I always misspell a word and make myself look like a fool.
Man, y'all just don't. And then I'm gonna tell you the messed up part about it. When you have that 5 tweet and you send it and you I'm talking about you say something and it's and it already started getting them likes, and then you notice you got an error in it. You like,
darn.
Do I delete it?
The one that get me is the one that put a apostrophe and were. You know what I mean? And it get me every time, dog. Every time. Yeah. It gets me every time. Like, for you to be a smartphone, you don't know the context of this sentence at all, because you get that word wrong every time.
Yes.
The autocorrect, man, it got a mind of its own, man.
I swear, bro. When you thinking I can misspell it, it's gonna autocorrect. It don't. When you try to spell a word, it's gonna autocorrect it to something totally different. Man, I swear I hate all.
Only time it really get me is if I'm trying to tell my wife something. If I'm trying to tell her something, and I'm like really, honey, you really need to understand what I'm trying to say right here. Mm-hmm. That's when it hit me with the autocorrect, and I'm just trying to say something just ridiculous, you know what I mean? Just saying, it's man, I don't even know what I was really trying to say with the autocorrect. So don't even worry about it. Whatever it is I was trying to say, it don't matter no way.
Only thing worse to autocorrect is that voice to text. Oh, that'll get you in some trouble right there.
For real.
No, you want to hear about some trouble first? Okay, so I don't know why. Yeah, I know, right? I don't know why they got rid of it. It used to be where if you type certain words, you know what I'm saying, like slang and stuff, it would save it and have your dictionary in there. Used to be. They got rid of that. Somebody was talking about something, and I was typing a message, and I hit send, and I typed past. I put my phone down, then look at it. My phone buzzing. 30 minutes that went by. I ain't looked, picked up my phone and looked. I got all these messages and people laughing. Boy, what's on your mind? It didn't type past. It typed another P word, and it ended in Y. And now I got to explain to all these folks what I was trying to say. Yeah. Autocorrect every time.
That's the words right there,
dog. Khalil Baker, your guy from Central, wins the inaugural Aeneas Williams Award. The Aeneas Williams Award is the what is it? I guess you could say equivalent to the Thorpe Award for HBCU players. He does win the inaugural. Aeneas Williams was a dog.
Dog,
absolute dog. Yeah.
I didn't realize he walked like his story. Like once I saw like his story, I was like, oh man, I ain't realized like the walk on and yeah, get that many. He got how many interceptions and how? Yeah. Dave said, what was the word? Pudgy, plenty? Yeah, all of them. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, man.
Y'all know my daddy. Y'all know my daddy watched this show. Listen, y'all ain't finna get me in trouble.
What up, Pops? What up, Pops?
What up, Rev?
He ain't mean nothing by it, dog.
Yeah, man. The word was pray, by the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was the word.
Yeah, like, what you mean by pray?
That make it worse, dog. That make it worse.
All right.
But yeah,
did y'all
Khalil,
see?
Man, Khalil, that's major.
Go ahead, talk about Khalil, man.
I appreciate y'all shouting him out, man. That's major. To see the young brother from the same hometown, literally, man. We from the same spot, man. So, to see that young brother, man, and a lot of people was like, man, how? You know what I mean? You look at the stat line, you look at the stat line, and a lot of it was because, man, the kid was shut down. He shut the whole side of the field down most of the year. And they just wouldn't try him. And when they would try him, he picking it off. So, it's just, man, the kid is dynamite. We saw Josh Williams yesterday get him a Super Bowl. We thinking that Khalil Baker could be able to follow in that same kind of footprint and get to the league next year, But he back this year. Everybody. Listen.
Hey, I'm glad you said that because I got to ask you a question in a second. But did y'all see the trophy, bro? Was that not one of the cleanest trophies y'all ever seen, bro? That mode was nasty, man. Hey, whoever designed that trophy, A+, bro. Y'all did that thing. Y'all need a raise because y'all did that, bro. But speaking of football, I've seen you make this claim a few times, so I want you to make it for our listeners.
Oh, yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about. Go ahead.
So there's a quarterback that plays for you all, who we all gave him this credit all year. That's a bad man. But you, my brother, have taken farther than any of us have taken it and said that he is. I'll let you say it. Go ahead. Your quarterback, Davis Richards, is what?
Best dual threat quarterback in the country. 25
I respect it, bro.
25 passing touchdowns, 15 rushing touchdowns. Really honestly, outside of games where he had to throw the ball, probably could have had over 1,000 yards rushing. He's extremely dangerous with the ball in his hands, whether he's throwing it or running it. We saw what he did, just him alone. We ain't talking about all the other backs and everybody else. We saw what he did alone against the number 1 rated defense in all of FCS in the national championship. And so you give me that against them, give me that against a team that made it to the second round of the FCS playoffs. You give me that against a team that was a couple possessions away from winning their conference championship and in the school down the highway. I mean, you give me that against, darn near anybody, but most certainly against the number 1 rated FCS. We hadn't seen, let me put this in context. In HBCU football, we hadn't seen a super defense compiled like that ever. Right? I've been around HBCU my entire life. My parents went to the same school I went to. My grandparents went to the same school I went to. I've studied this thing. And even some of the best defenses that we've ever had come through all of our schools was never compiled like that. You put together multiple All-Americans, a few of them that transferred in. You put a returning linebacker core that's spearheaded by the name of a guy named Aubrey Miller. You throw in the number 1 rated player in the country coming out of high school. We had never seen a defense compiled like that at an HBCU. And Davius Richard on December 17th at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Atlanta, Georgia, seemingly picked them apart from the first drive to the last drive. I'm talking about he threw the ball, ran the ball, caught the ball, won the game. So when I'm saying it, I hear everybody say Lindsey Scott, he's a great passing quarterback who in certain circumstances has to run the ball. I'll give him 5 stars as a passing quarterback in a system that is built to throw the ball the way they throw the ball, by the way. But if you talking dual threat, meaning they're just as dangerous throwing the ball as they are running the ball, it ain't a quarterback. Somebody said Caleb Williams. I said, Caleb Williams. James Richardson had more rushing touchdowns last year than Caleb Williams has in his whole career. So we can't bring Caleb Williams in his day. Somebody said Drake May. Listen, I'm saying this. You're talking about dual threat quarterbacks. You talk about somebody who's just as dangerous throwing the ball as they are running the ball. I'm begging somebody, give me an example of somebody that's better. Because we saw what he did against the number 1 FCS defense in the country. Bar none. Total defense, they was number 1 in all of the statistical major categories from a statistical standpoint as far as defenses go. And he shredded them apart. Tore their ass apart. No, sorry.
You good.
He's heard worse.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Tore them apart. So I'm very, very careful about this too, brother. And I'm very careful about when I make statements like that because I know that it's always gonna come with, what about this guy? What about that guy? What about this guy? And I've analyzed them all. Listen, the quarterback position, I'm a former offensive coordinator, former head coach. And the quarterback position for me is everything. Mm-hmm. I study that position probably more than any other position on the field. And when I say best dual threat quarterback, I mean best dual threat quarterback in the country. And he back this year with an offensive line that's going to be better. I'm telling you now, they're going to be better than they even were last year. And you saw what that offensive line was able to do last year. You got all of his running backs coming back next year. You got a 3-star running back that we got coming out of Charlotte. He's off his red shirt this year. You throw him in the mix. We got a tight end that transferred from Tennessee that really should have signed us out of high school. He chose to go to Tennessee because he had a high school teammate of his that chose to go to Tennessee. We had one weak position last year and it was tight end. You sprinkle in Campbell that we just signed. What you gonna do? What can y'all do? UCLA, and I'm not just saying this just cause. You know what? I don't even want to go there. I done been on campus 4 times since the season ended. I done been inside the coach's office. I done been in there to see them boys in the weight room. I'm telling you now. Do not come up surprised if we beat UCLA. That's all I'm telling y'all. I don't make these statements lightly.
You a marketing major?
I was.
Yeah, I'm about to say, boy, because you can say ice to igloo, man. I'm telling you, boy, because you make it sound great, and I'm not necessarily disputing it, because I haven't done the research. You know what I'm saying? But of all the quarterbacks out there, but that's a very what's the word I'm looking for? That's a lofty claim, man. But hey, you backing it up, so I mean I can't knock you for it, but
yeah.
All I'm gonna say is I'm ready to see him again. That's all I'm gonna say.
I wouldn't be crazy enough to say. I wouldn't be crazy enough to come out and say he's the best all-around quarterback in the country. That's asinine. That would be very irresponsible of me as a person that works in media that claims to know the game of football to say he's the best all-around quarterback in the country. So I was very intentional about saying dual threat quarterback because we saw on display live and living color last night what a dual threat quarterback really looks like. We saw it in Jalen Hurts last night. That's a dual threat quarterback. 3 rushing touchdowns in a Super Bowl game. That's a dual threat quarterback. So when you're looking at that mold and you say, well, dang, if that's the mold for a dual threat quarterback, then I got to go see why Josh is saying that this kid is the best dual threat quarterback in the country. Bar none, whether we talking FBS, FCS, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO, you think about whatever level it is. It don't matter what level we talking about on the college level. This kid, the best dual threat quarterback in the country. I told everybody last year, you saw what he ended up rolling off, led to a national championship, and now he got a chance to get back in that weight room. And I mean, this kid lifts with the offensive line, man. He don't lift with the quarterbacks and the running back. He lifts with the offensive line. And I'm not just telling y'all this because I just heard it. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. And this is coming from a person who played at Central, who I tried my hardest to miss weightlifting. I tried my hardest. I wanted to skip. I wanted to skip.
And for you come listen, I was gonna say this. Somebody been missing.
Oh yeah,
we missing Chuck. We missing Chuck tonight, but somebody been missing. I ain't seen him in about 2 weeks. And I was like, man, I started getting worried. Me at Mike in the building, everybody. Me at Mike, we got a me at guy on here. And I was like, man, I kept saying, where is me at Mike?
Mike know. I see that Morgan State on his logo.
Yeah.
Mike know.
Yeah,
he saw live in living color.
He be in here slandering all kind of SWAC schools. He be throwing all kind of slander out there. But
I don't have no disrespect for SWAC schools. I think the SWAC is gonna be deep this year. I think you really can go, especially in the East. You really can go. I mean, even with Alabama A&M, which I totally had them out of my conversation. You look at the recruiting class they brought in. You can even have Alabama A&M in the conversation, depending on I mean, you look at. I mean, it's going to be a 2-team race between Jackson State and FAMU, of course. In the East, in the West, I think it's a 3-team race. You got Prairie View, Southern, Alcorn. I think Grambling is still a year out. I think they're still 1 year away. They're 1 year away, and they're quarterback away. Yeah, they're quarterback away from being the most dominant team probably in the West. They get the quarterback rooms fixed. Yeah. Good night. Good Lord, this is the clear.
What you think about Texas Southern?
I don't know, man. I think Texas Southern has probably got the best quarterback room probably in all of the entire conference. You take away from the fact that you have Andrew Body in the room, and then you got this transfer kid that's coming in from Furman, I believe. And I'm hearing the things that I'm hearing about this kid and his ability to go through his reads and progressions correctly. I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch any film on him yet, so I don't want to misquote. But from what I've heard, he's a far advanced version of what they probably need. Texas Southern is probably the only team in the conference that their problems are everywhere else but the quarterback room.
Yeah.
Their problems everywhere else but the quarterback room. Alabama State wish they had a quarterback room like Texas Southern has. If they had one of those two quarterbacks, they would be Grambling too.
Yeah,
A&M had.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes to Bethune, even Alcorn to an extent.
They might got one now though.
Yeah, with this
Alcorn might have one now though.
That's what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing Southern has got this a kid in the building that they trying to keep on the hush. Ain't nobody trying to talk about it yet because they know that he's supposed to be really, really good. Only time is going to tell. We get a chance to see it during the spring game. But Texas Southern is one of them teams where, man, problems is everywhere else but the quarterback room.
You say Southern might have one in the building.
Is he going to play him? They had one last.
Boy, you better stop. Stay out my mouth. What? Pause. Big pause. But stay out my mind.
You set yourself up.
I did set myself up for that one. I said myself, but yeah, is he gonna play him? That's the first thing popped in my mind because
you just never know with Dooley, man. You never know with Dooley, man. And one of the most heartbreaking things in the world was seeing that SWAC championship game. Broke my heart, bro.
Yes,
broke my heart. I'm talking about broke my heart to pieces because you just gotta imagine that if this kid is playing the whole season with that defense,
hey, that Jackson State game would have been totally. The first one would have been totally different.
Completely different game, because the kid came with. I mean, that young brother had such a confidence in himself and his ability that I'm like, y'all ain't see that. Y'all didn't see how much. I mean, some confidence is fake, fictitious. It's fugazi. This kid, I mean, he exuded confidence.
You know the crazy thing about it, Josh? People have been saying it all season.
All year, bro.
Don't tell me that, man.
All year, bro. For real. All year.
It's like, hey,
I'm talking about like
we got the wrong quarterback playing. We got the wrong quarterback playing. If Dooley plays Bubble, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All year, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That make it worse, man. That's the type of stuff to get coaches fired, man.
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff to get coaches fired. You just lucky that, Mississippi Valley happened to beat, Prairie View, the last game of the season. You just lucky that you end up being back in that situation. That's the type of stuff that get coaches fired, man.
Yeah, that's what
not
it came
having
down
the
to.
ability to evaluate talent.
It came down to Valley beating Prairie View for them to get into the SWAC championship game.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Well, I take that back. They still had to be Grambling.
It was a lot of people fed.
But
they still had to be Grambling.
But with Prairie View losing the Valley, that was the last week of the season. Prairie View lost the Valley, and that's what made it to where if they win the Classic, they in.
If I'm not mistaken, also
lost the week before.
I was just gonna say Texas Southern, the collapse. Yeah, that was. I'm gonna jump around a little bit because these last two, I already know how they're gonna go. And these some quick hitters. And near and dear to my heart, Dillon University.
Yes,
Dillon University. They started their baseball program. They hadn't done well so far this season, but they got it started. They won 3 games, I think, so far. I think they're like 3-9 on the season, but they got it started.
That's what's up, man. Period. Glad to see it, bro. Glad to see it.
They also had their track program started up early in the season as well. So
basketball soon?
They got basketball.
I mean, not basketball, football.
I heard rumors.
I heard rumors too. Like for real, big major rumors. Because we had one school in Louisiana starting football up that ain't had football in like 50 years sitting there. They starting up. And I heard that Dillon is kind of trying to get with them and see how they went about it or whatever. So that'll be major.
That'll be on point. That'll be major.
Yeah. Talladega officially introduced new head coach of their gymnastics team, Coach Asia Sims Fletcher, former Alabama gymnast, former Alabama champion at that. So congratulations to her.
Congratulations to Talladega, man.
Yeah, the alma mater of one Deion Sanders. Speaking of that,
I ain't got nothing to say, man.
Speaking of that, so Deion was on. First of all, I'm gonna say this.
Oh man!
I've always just like most of us here, I've always admired Deion. Respect him. For what he's done. But he's kind of triggering to me lately.
Scoring lover syndrome,
bro. So he was. I don't know what set he was on, what show, but he made the comment about how safe Colorado is to the point where he said, "I done been here 4 weeks. I ain't seen a police officer. I had to go find one."
All I'm gonna say is, and this is not necessarily towards Deion, but this is just a public service announcement. Google is free.
Thank you.
So
it'll be on the shirt soon.
Be careful what you say because people can go pull receipts, and you might not want to just be out there making any kind of claims whenever people can Google the stuff that you say. That's all I'm gonna say, and I ain't gonna really speak too much more on the Deion thing.
I got my shirt on tonight, loud and wrong. Josh, you're good man. BJ was on here, a couple weeks ago, and that was right after DeAndre made the comments about Jackson State having murders every other month, and he said it then. She get it from her daddy. So, yeah. I do know. I have used Google. I have seen those stats. and Boulder is not that. It's not what you're saying it is, sir. So,
no, it's not. Here's I'm gonna say one thing, if y'all allow me.
Go ahead, bro.
About this. Because I've been waiting for an opportunity to say this in multiple places. All right. Deion, and you absolutely right. We all admired this brother for what he did on that football field, man. And just, what I mean, as a player, man, all of it, you lying if you say you didn't want to play, like at least look like Deion. You might not want to play like him, but you wanted to look like him. Here's where I am with Deion, right? Because I like to lead with respect, right? So, in love. He's having a hard time dealing with the fact that he lost this argument, this back and forth kind of banter with the HBCU community, to the point where he lost it so bad that his own daughter got pulled into the loss as well. He doesn't like that he lost that. It's an ego thing. Most men don't like losing arguments. You ever argue with an uncle or a cousin or a friend about something simple? It will have you perplexed for days. Like, dang, I should have said this, or dang, I should have said that. And it'll bother you to the point where you'll be thinking about it months and months down the road. You'll see them next time at grandma's house for Sunday dinner, and you will be still thinking about it. That's what Deion going through. For months, we talking about since late November, early December, y'all, is when the announcement came that he was leaving to go to Colorado. And the HBCU community, our community, this thing of ours, automatically went in, all right, cool, do your thing. We proud of you, we happy for you. But then you start chip shot, chip shot, chip shot. Then it's like, okay, we got to nip this in the bud now. But the way that the HBCU community nipped it in the bud was, I think it was something he didn't necessarily believe was going to happen. He didn't think that we was going to jump on his case like that. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, man, he hurting, man. Me and BJ done talked about this. Dude hurting. His feelings hurt. His ego hurt. How he feel about it is hurt. He felt like, man, I did everything I could. And some of this stuff he pulling from things that other people said that he did that he know he really didn't do, that he trying to add to the conversation to try to give himself a leg up in the argument. Just like when I'm arguing with my cousins about football, man, I ain't never letting you get a leg up in the argument. And if you do, I ain't never going to get it back. They going to have control of the argument until the end of it.
Yeah.
That's where he at. So anytime you see him now, he's going to take any opportunity to take a subliminal shot at Jackson, Mississippi, at Jackson State, and at HBCUs. And the reality is, bro, you already lost this argument. At this point, you're just looking foolish just by saying stuff. And what you really don't want is the HBCU community to jump back on your tail again. Really don't want that to happen. And it's not out of disrespect. It's just like, at what point does the community say we're going to protect this thing of ours to the point where we won't let nobody come in and be disrespectful, which is the reason why I had to have a back and forth with somebody before. Yeah. And I understand.
It ain't necessarily disrespect. It's one of them things you're not gonna keep coming for us, and we ain't gonna say nothing. I caught that too, boy.
I ain't say that.
Y'all funny, but I say this to your point about he lost and he ain't never really lost like that before. Like his media machine, you know what I mean, is so used to being the one to control the narrative, and whenever the HBCU community fought back against that narrative, he wasn't able to overpower him. Even whenever he went to his dogs, like Shannon Sharp and all them, you know what I mean, to try to have his back, HBCU community come for them too. You know what I mean? So it's like he thought that he could just kind of put his narrative out and everybody was just gonna take it and run with it. But whenever that got kind of clapped back against, and now we're not just gonna let you get away with that, he didn't really have an answer for it. And now he, for the first time, he really doesn't know how to control the narrative. And so the only thing he can do is to keep trying to push his narrative slowly, you know what I mean, by taking them little shots. Oh, the crime good here in Boulder. I don't even see the police. That's just another shot at Jackson, you know, crime-ridden town and all that. You know what I mean? So to your point, that's what them shots are for, is to try to just keep enforcing his narrative, to try to propping his narrative back up.
Yeah. So it's funny. Renard, Down South Football Podcast, we literally just had this conversation the other day, and he brought something to my attention that I didn't think about. Deion never faced HBCU media. When he did SWAC media days, he could answer questions and stuff like that. The SWAC media calls, you answer questions, but it's kind of tailored. When he look out, he does zip lip. When he left, he didn't address the. He didn't address the. He left right after what's called. So he didn't do the press conference. So because all those questions were coming, the cat's out of the bag. The questions are coming. So and he's not talked to HBCU media since, except for the guy Rod. I think it's Rod, the guy from Jackson State. Yeah,
Rob J.
Yeah, Rob. I think that's the only person he's talked to, and I don't know if he talked to him. I think Rob made a comment joking with him, saying, "Man, I told you to take me with him. Take me with you." But he hadn't talked to him, so it's like he didn't. As both y'all, he didn't have to face accountability versus except for what he saw on social media. So,
and that was enough. And that was enough accountability in itself. You got to keep in mind now. These people who are to Ann's point and to your point, who is like, bro, these people, they see what's going on, bro. Especially you talking about, Ant hit a major point when you talk about that machine. You want to see how you break down a machine? You want to see how you dismantle a machine? Like some machines, like don't have the ability to make certain things. Like, when it's time to make certain things, it start malfunctioning. It don't matter how many times you give it a troubleshoot, or you put a new screw in this part of the machine, or you try to give a computer update to this part. Some things it just cannot manufacture. Dion's machine cannot manufacture a real response to the HBCU component, to the HBCU media. It just can't. Because the HBCU media is kind of like, it's like a bunch of Japanese kamikaze. Like, dog, we all willing to just let the whole plane just go down for the sake of blowing up everything you trying to do. We willing to blow the whole thing up. And it's really, you got a lot of cats that came in it like me, where, dog, I just wanted to peddle my perspective. It was just about being able to introduce my perspective about what it felt like to be a multi-generational graduate from the same institution. And it just so happened the perfect timing is the institution that I rep the hardest happened to whoop them in the Celebration Bowl. So it almost made it almost perfect.
Yeah.
But you think, relatively speaking, though, Pooh, you think he want to talk to somebody like me?
No. I already know. I already know.
Hell no. Just be honest. I'm not the person you really want to talk to because I really don't have nothing to gain and or lose from any of them. Yep. I'm really here just wanting to have a conversation. I really came up off of Twitter Spaces and just wanting to have a conversation with people. So, we can all talk because there's 107 perspectives, as far as HBCUs. And then you throw in how many people got so many different perspectives across the 107 HBCUs. You talking about millions upon millions of perspectives. That's all I really wanted to do. Plum don't want to talk to me. And I still got a lot of love for him.
Yeah.
As a player, I still love him. That don't mean you gonna be above accountability and reproach. And that don't mean that once you have to come back and have the answer to this, that don't mean that that don't mean that HBCU media has to decide that, well, we want you to go out to Colorado and whoop all of them Pac-12 teams. Take multiple approaches. We either don't care or we don't want to see you go out there and win. Because it helps to serve a specific narrative and perspective too. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man.
I put this, and while you think about it, I put this up here. Down South says, and what was put out was on his own channel. So
yeah, that was very control the narrative, man.
Control the narrative.
Yeah. So, but he's always been so agenda based. You know what I mean? That everything has an agenda. Everything is for a purpose and stuff like that. That sitting down with someone like you who comes to the conversation with no agenda, you know what I mean? He can't win with you. You know what I mean? Because he can't get you on his side because you're not, you know what I mean? You're not there trying to be on anybody's side. So that's how he's a salesman. You know what I mean? He's a market. So he's trying to market his product. He's trying to market himself. And if you're not in the business to buy it, then you know what I mean? You're there's no point in him talking to you.
And I personally think that that's the way that certain components of media needs to be, right? Like non-agenda based, non-biased. Like I think that's how it should be. At least that's how I want. Let me not say that. Let me say that's how I want to be. I want to enter into all conversations with no agenda. At the end of the day, y'all, everybody know what's up with me. I'm going to talk about North Carolina Central. I have not shielded and ran away from that from day one. I'm going to talk about 1801. Never. I'm going to talk about 1801 Fayetteville Street, but I have the ability to walk and chew gum at the same time. I can talk about my institution and why I love my institution, while also being able to be honest about the other 106 institutions that exist and what makes them great, and be able to listen to what they got to say without having to have any agenda at all. I'm going to talk about 1801 Fayetteville Street. That's what I'm going to do because that's how I got what I got. You know what I mean? And I'll be doing myself a disservice if I didn't.
Oh yeah, for sure, no doubt. But at the same time, I think that the outsiders, you know what I mean, the non-HBCU community, they didn't look. They looked at it as if the HBCU community had some kind of resentment or some kind of anger, you know what I mean, towards Dion, not realizing that what you're saying is we don't have the agenda. There's no agenda from the HBCU community. The agenda is all from the other side. You know what I mean? So if there's any resentment, it's coming from the people who are pushing this agenda and this narrative, you know what I mean, to try to justify why they did what they did. So if anything, the HBCU community was just responding to that
playing defense.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? We matching energies. That's all we doing.
Yeah, we match energy. Now what becomes scary is what happens if the HBCU media and the HBCU community decides to go on offense.
Exactly.
What happened? And that's the part, and I don't want to talk about that on y'all show, man, and really get into that. But what happens if we talk about narratives and agendas? And the fact is that the truth is we ain't doing nothing but responding. A response ain't nothing but playing defense from a media perspective. I'm responding to what you put out there. And every time you say something, you go on the offense and we go on the defense, we making you punt the ball. Or we causing a turnover. But what happens if the HBCU community and the HBCU media family decide to go on the offense?
I think it'll look like what Davis Richards did to Jackson State in that celebration.
No, you right on it, bro. You right on it, man. If we decide to make them have to match our intensity.
Yeah.
We having to match theirs, and we overreaching, and we really becoming more intensified by playing a defensive style response and approach. We really are. They give us this energy on offense, and we match it, and then we exceed them by playing the defense from a narrative perspective. But what happens if we decide, you know what? We just gonna go on the offense. Let's see if they can match our energy now. We gonna come out and we gonna say X, Y, and Z. I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, dog. We say things sometimes a little different. It might feel like, you know what I mean? We just a little different. And I might say some things that if we decide to go on the offensive and say things and get in front of the narrative, I think that it would cause more of a catastrophe amongst our community. And I think that the HBCU community understands that. And that's the reason why we haven't gone on the offense.
Well,
we don't want to separate our community.
That's a valid point.
We don't want to be the person that's turned on a light that separates and divides the African American and Black community in the country.
Yeah.
Because that's just real talk. So we'll continue to keep playing defense. And Dion gonna be all right, man. He'll be all right. He tough. You know what I mean? People get checked every day, B.
Yeah. Chuck Hunt. Good man. We called him. Chuck popped up.
My dog.
Chuck say Dion operates like a televangelist.
Very much so.
Shout out to
he does. It does. Boy, you.
Wait, Creflo in the building. Big Boot Gang. What's good? What's good,
up, bro?
Big pressure. Yeah. Dion does like to be challenged. So
I don't think any man does. I don't know if any man. I don't know any man that like to be challenged. Like we like to be pushed. We like to have, you know what I mean, some work. You know, at work we probably want some objectives and goals to get to. So I'm with you, Chuck. He don't like being challenged, but I don't like being challenged.
I feel like men will be open to a challenge if it comes from the right people. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not finna just let anybody challenge me. But if it's someone who I hold in high regard, you know what I mean, they challenge my position on something or my, you know what I'm saying, why I feel a certain way, then that sometimes is good for growth, you know what I'm saying, and viewing different perspectives. You know what I mean? And I feel like, and I know that's not kind of what you were saying, but I feel like anybody who isn't, and I think this is what Chuck means, anybody who isn't willing to be challenged is going to have that me against the world mentality. And whenever they do something, they play victim mentality because they don't like being challenged on their decisions or what they did or what they said. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what he means. That's where that lack of being held accountable comes from, because he's never really challenged on his thoughts or his saying, what he says or his actions or anything.
Yeah, I agree with Chuck. I absolutely agree. I agree with you. I don't think he does. I think everything always depends on the situation, circumstance. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? When I think about challenge, I think most men don't want to be challenged in the space of conflict.
Oh yeah, okay,
right?
yeah, I agree. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But from the space of where there's growth and opportunity and a learning experience and a learning opportunity, all men must fall up under a law.
Yeah.
And in that law, you're going to be challenged. All men must fall up under some sort of discipline and principle. And there's going to be somebody that's going to orchestrate that principle and that discipline upon you. And you got to be willing to be challenged by that. So I 110% agree with you. I think what Dion don't like about it is he don't like the conflict that comes with the confrontation that comes with the things that he says or the things that he does. And that confrontation and that conflict, in more situations than not, he's been the person that come out on top of that confrontation or that conflict. And in this situation, it just represented, dog, you ain't come out on top of this. And you got to just eat that. You got to just eat that. Or you're going to continue to keep doing stuff like this until football season. You're going to keep making little slight references toward crime because you upset because your daughter got checked.
Well, see, now it looked like, you know what I mean? It looked like the ex who can't get over the fact that they ex done moved on with somebody else and that they happy. So they got to keep taking them little shots of, you know what I'm saying? Or I remember when you used to do this, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, are they just steady picking and they down the road happy. The ex down the road happy, but you claim you so happy, but you still bringing them up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this comment.
Pooh, you know what you was doing. Pooh, you knew what you was doing with this topic too, man.
Hey, listen.
Pooh missing. You gotta watch.
Hey.
When I think this one bad, wait till this next topic.
Oh, wait till this next topic. Hey, but when I clip it and you read it, you gonna watch it. I'm like, okay.
What's the next topic? Hold on.
All right.
What we was talking about at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. So now I want to read this comment. I don't want to go into deep because we are everybody had this conversation before. But it's definitely true. Me and Mike said the only problem I had with Prime is that he pushed a long-term mission when it was only a short-term gig. I hate he gassed up the JSU faithful for no reason. Prime has to move on. I agree. I'm gonna leave it alone because everybody think everybody's arguing.
We're gonna move that one on. But yeah, I agree. I think me and Mike feels the same way that 90% of HBCU community feels.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Last night we had Fayetteville State alum Joshua Williams and also North Carolina A&T alum Brian Cook for the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl with Kansas City. Congratulations to them. We've already made reference to them. Before the game, there were 3 songs played.
Oh, snap.
It was the Black National Anthem. It was America the Beautiful. Black National Anthem by Shirley Ralph. Absolutely beautiful. Lift every voice and sing. Absolutely beautiful. Babyface got up there saying that thing, that America the Beautiful. And it was beautiful. And then I forget my guy's name that sang the national anthem.
Chris Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
Chris Stapleton sang the national anthem. The under, if you had the under for the national anthem, he did hit it for you. So congratulations there to those bettors.
I picked the over because I thought the country dude was gonna take draw. You know, they songs be slow and sad.
He wasn't gonna Marvin Gaye that thing. Or Whitney Houston.
Yeah, or Whitney. I mean, true, but
R.I.P. Both of those legends, and I'll leave it at that. But not everybody was happy. Not everybody was happy with the Black National Anthem being sang. Lauren Boebert.
Lauren Boebert, right for this. I know, boy, you ain't right for this.
Listen,
I'm loving where you going with this one.
She came out and she said, America only has one national anthem. Why is the NFL trying to divide us by playing multiple? Do football, not wokeness.
There's so many problems with that statement, dog.
First of all, I've been saying this all week because it's been pissing me off when people were talking about at LSU. They had the debate about adding another name to the basketball court and Sue Gunter to her name to the basketball court, and they were saying woke politics, and people kept saying it's the woke side and all this. Define woke for me, not y'all. I'm saying that was my argument. Define woke.
I define it.
I know you.
Yeah, I define it too.
Yeah,
that's what it is for them. It's the N-word.
And it drives me nuts because we have a problem, and this kind of getting away from this, but America has an issue with taking words that don't mean something
and making them mean that.
And making them equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
CRT and Black history are not interchangeable. They are not interchangeable. I keep telling folks, I've said that several times, they are not interchangeable. I'm trying to think of another. Socialism and communism are not interchangeable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But people seem to conflate those issues. And I don't want to be political, but this was about, and I'm going to bring it back to sports. So here we go. People were saying, and she was saying that we shouldn't be, singing more than one national anthem. Should we be singing any national anthems at sporting events?
Nope.
Absolutely not. What constitutes any sort of reasoning? I'm talking logic. Mm-hmm. For there to be a national anthem sung at a sporting event. And this is a question I've had for almost 20 years. From the moment that I played Little League football almost 30 years ago. Why at a sporting event are we playing the national anthem to start the football, basketball, baseball, hockey, tennis, golf match, lacrosse match, pickleball,
water polo, whatever you want to play?
Water polo, swim meet. Why are we playing this at the beginning? What sense of faux patriotism are we trying to?
I'm glad you said that. Go ahead. Ed.
But yeah, I know you finna go to about the NFL, but my thing is with the national anthem.
It ain't just the NFL, but
like in no other line of work do you start your job by doing the national anthem. Like no other job.
No.
So what? You don't start a movie with the national anthem when you go to the movies. So what makes the sporting event the one that has to be started with a national anthem? Like I don't understand. I'm with Josh. I've never understood this. It never made sense to me. And I don't know if it's faux patriotism or if it's, trying to make it look like we're all one big happy family in this country or whatever the case may be is. But it's really out of place at a sporting event.
So I'm glad y'all both y'all said faux patriotism. So the first sporting event that played the national anthem wasn't until 1931. That was I did a little research today. 1931 for the World Series. I'm not World Series during baseball season because World War I was going on and they wanted to drum up patriotism.
Mm-hmm.
Drum up patriotism. So it goes to what you're saying. They kind of stopped. And then in 1942,
World War II was going on.
They did it again, and then they kept it, and it's been in sporting events since. Now, the NFL, and we know this, especially with everything's going, happening with Kaepernick and stuff. Mm-hmm. They used to play the national anthem before the games, but they didn't have players on the field except during Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. They did that. The only other time they did it was after 9/11. Mm-hmm. And then in 2009, the NFL required players to be on the field during the national anthem.
When they got their money from the military.
That contract.
Yep. DOD. Money from the military. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Thank you.
And that's whenever you started seeing them flags the size of the football field being ran out and stretched out and everything like that and be made a big spectacle out of it.
So I want to say this as a military vet.
Thank you for your service, my brother.
Yeah, for real.
You're very welcome. I have no problem with the national. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm gonna be careful how I say this. I don't mind the national anthem played at events, but just simply because I different. It means different things to me. But I tell you what, I also know it doesn't always the national anthem and the American flag isn't the same for us as black people as it is for everyone else. Simply because the words, if you look at the lyrics and stuff, the you know saying stuff, the words in it are not representative of us. Arguments I had today. What if we had a white only national anthem that only whites can sing? One, Lift Every Voice is a very it's it's a very
song.
Inclusive song. It says nothing about first of all, it's called the Black National Anthem, not the Blacks Only National Anthem.
Yeah.
You can, and my words exactly, you can sing to your heart's content.
Yeah, see. Go ahead. I know you're gonna finish this.
Yeah,
there's no restrictions on it. Just like HBCUs have always
bingo. That was one point about it.
Anybody.
It's a historically black college and university, but it's not a black only college and university.
Right.
Yeah.
But like
we've
never been the ones who we've never been that.
Never.
They were the ones who wanted black people to have their own everything and then turn around and get upset whenever black people have a national anthem. It just don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I heard one person today say, my bad, Poop. I heard one person today say, we're supposed to be one nation under God, one nation, one anthem. Well, it's just funny to me that the Star Spangled Banner doesn't mention God at all, but Lift Every Voice and Sing mentions God multiple times. So if we're going to be the one nation under God, why not have the anthem that has God mentioned multiple times? I'm just saying.
That's a hell of a point.
It's been, listen, you mentioned it. We have never, black people have all, if they've had organizations that have had black in the name, they have never excluded anyone from joining. Y'all mentioned HBCUs. There are several HBCUs that were actually founded and started by white people.
Absolutely.
That currently now, what's our school we just found out about? Bluefield State. Bluefield State is predominantly white.
Not the only one either.
West Virginia State is predominantly white, but it's a historically black college. The NAACP was co-founded by people, non-melanated people, white people, however you want to call them. The United Negro College Fund,
same thing. The Black Panther Party, which a lot when people want to compare the KKK to totally different, but also if you have a WIC program or if you did summer lunch, you might want to thank the Black Panther Party. But
big facts.
Those programs, the Black Panther Party had white people in it, so it has never.
Shout out Bernie Sanders.
Ever. Yeah, it's never been about excluding anyone. With that being said, if we're talking about, saying there shouldn't be the black national, nobody, and I said this earlier, nobody had a problem with America the Beautiful being sung. If they just had introduced it as Lift Every Voice and Sing, nobody would have had a problem.
Nah.
But it's because they labeled it the Black National Anthem. I said this again. They could have played Back That Ass Up by Juvenile. If they had said the Black National Anthem, Back That Ass Up, they would have had a problem with it. They would have danced. They would have sang the lyrics, but they would have had a problem with it.
Look, Pooh, I'm almost willing for us to find a way to sign a petition to throw Back That Ass Up as a secondary black national anthem. It's definitely the black national anthem.
I tell you what. I know. You know what?
The number two got to be Before I Let Go. That's really got to be the second.
No. It ain't gonna be that. I tell you what it'll be, and I guarantee you they'll do the dance and everything and still complain. Swag Surf. They'll be offbeat.
Everybody loves Swag Surf. Everybody loves Swag Surf.
Before I Let Go, gotta be the national anthem. If we're gonna change the national anthem, it's gotta be Before I Let Go.
Before I let you go.
You know what I'm saying? That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it, bro.
Gotta be your boy. We gotta slide that in there, Ant. We gotta slide that in there.
I'm telling you, bro.
What if we started playing Lift Every Voice and Sing at the club, y'all?
That's the let out song at the club. When
that's
the club
let out song.
That's how you know. That's how you know the lights coming on.
Turn the lights on. Everybody stay still. Put your hand over your heart. This every voice is sing. I promise you, we all know it. It'll be
I-
cool. But to your point, I was just trying to throw some levity.
Yeah.
in
Oh
there.
no,
To your point though, Boo, like I think that there's got to be. I think if we're gonna have a sensible conversation with America, which what I call traditional America, and then I call our community to be really our own community, right? If we're gonna have a sensible conversation, like what you really mad about? What you really mad about?
You know,
like let's what you really mad about? What you really mad about is the fact that, because we keeping it real, 70 to 80% of the players that was on that field yesterday look like us. They look like us. Regardless to what, what they've done and where they come from, they look like us. Is there nothing in this world where Black people should feel a sense of pride outside of what you believe we should feel a sense of pride about, and that be patriotism? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with being patriotic, right? Because I love America, because I know my family built this place. Right? Like, and so I can be honest about that, but I can also be critical about the fact about how this country makes people that look like me feel. And so there are places and opportunities where we can be able to have solidarity. This is something that should bring people together just as much as watching the game should.
That's a great point.
But you gonna take an opportunity to make it political because you don't like the fact, it's very, very similar to what my brother just said. You don't like the fact that it says something opposite of what you see yourself as. And that's just what it boiled down to. You don't like the fact that you identify as one thing, and this says something that's different than what you identify as. It's the reason why I have an issue with Black people who have an issue with historically Black colleges and universities. How dare you have a problem with the most successful institutions our people have ever been able to create? We don't have one company in the Fortune 500. These institutions have lasted us the test of time. But at the same token, while I don't have a problem with my people having a problem with it, I'm gonna have a problem with somebody else having a problem. I've gone this far, right? I've gone this far in the conversation just so people can understand you have no reason to feel any type of way about our people feeling any sense of pride about what we have, what we've created, and what we've accomplished. If a person that doesn't look like me wants to have pride in what they look like and what they've been able to create, I don't got no problem with it. Do your thing. But don't be upset if we mess around and do some history and read and find out that the institution that you have pride in got some sort of tenets or feelbacks to us. Because we've always been honest about the fact that the NAACP was not founded just by Black people. We've always been honest about the fact that historically Black colleges and universities have names on the front of them that don't represent all Black people. We've always been honest about the fact that some of our businesses, some of our neighborhoods, and some of our community organizations were founded by people that didn't look like us. And we're able to quantify them as an ally. So anybody that's against that doesn't look like that, and you're not an ally, what does that automatically make you? So to Lauren Bobart, and I hope this get clipped, because you're really holding on by a thread in your constituency anyway. For Lauren Bobart and Marjorie Taylor Greene and others who feel like that, if you ain't gonna be an ally, just know what you represent yourself as to us. Because if you got a problem with anything that has Black in it, and when all of this stuff is just as a sense of pride and recognition and our ability to say, we built these things on our own. We made a song ourselves to help to give us pride. It didn't have nothing to do with making you feel less than pride. There's no words in there, unbeknownst to the Star Spangled Banner, by the way, that has some words and some tenets in it and some stanzas that are anti-us. Nothing a part of this song has anything anti in it. It's built in love, it's built in patriotism, believe it or not, and it's built in pride. Yep. Same thing it goes for HBCUs. Same thing goes for our community organization. So if you are ready and willing to represent yourself as a non-ally, just know what you represent yourself as. Because if you ain't an ally, it's only one other thing you can be. Ain't no middle ground when it comes to whether or not you love our community or you don't. You either love Black people or you don't. We've never said we didn't like anybody else. We've never made that statement. We never made our institutions inclusive only for us. Exclusive only for us, I'm sorry. We never made our organizations as pro-black as they were, that nobody that don't look like us can join.
I guarantee you, everybody know at least one white person that's a non panhellenic. I mean, what was the NPHC?
That's a part of the Divine Nine.
We all know one white person.
I know a bunch of people that don't look like me. That's Qs or that's Kappas or that's Alphas.
Yep.
We ain't tripping. We never have been. But just recognize that if you decide that you got a problem with everything we got, that we decide that we want to generate some pride for ourselves about, we got a problem with it. Ain't nobody deciding that we ain't gonna listen to the national anthem. We just want to hear ours too. We want to hear this version too. Yep. It's okay. When you get in the car with your mama, you don't just listen to one song. Mama gonna put if mama tech savvy, she gonna put that aux cord on you feel me? If she got Apple Music, she gonna put that aux cord on what's they called, infinity mode.
Oh yeah, it's over with for you.
It's over with for you. So that's all I got to say about it, man. Because I get irritated by things like this. This is a football game, and a person like Lauren Boebert could bring a political agenda into something like this. That's an anti-black political agenda.
Yep.
Straight up and down.
I just want to, jump on a couple points you said, piggyback on them. The only reason she upset is because it's a word in there that excludes her from being a part of it. Like you said, you know what I mean? The word black in that makes her not be inclusive. But the only reason
feel like she's not
inclusive. Yeah, exactly. But the only reason she would feel that way and be so upset about it is if she had a history of doing that to people, excluding people who and not always being inclusive herself. Because if you were an inclusive person, you wouldn't feel like you was excluded by the word black. And then on top of that, if you so patriotic and you love your country so much, there's multiple ways to show that you love your country. There's multiple ways to show your patriotism. And if one of the ways that black people show their patriotism is by listening to this song and singing along with this song, then if you love this country so much, you would have pride in that, and you would want them to show that they pride in this country. If that's the way they have to do it, then so be it. Whatever method that they have to do to show that their patriotism and show that their love for this country. If you really love this America like that, you would never want to diminish someone's ability to show that their patriotism. So to me, you really are the one who don't love this country, because you're the ones who are trying to silence and censor a certain group of people from showing their patriotism. You're trying to gatekeep patriotism and make it be, well, only this is patriotism, whenever there are several ways to show that you're patriotic in this country. And singing along with the Black National Anthem is one of them, if that makes black people feel a sense of love for their country.
We just talked about words that keep getting conflated. Nationalism, patriotism is one that I always throw in there. I'm gonna end this like this. First off, I'm gonna say, Josh, I truly do appreciate you coming through.
Yes, sir.
As always, look forward to having you back. We're gonna have to definitely bring you back when it's time for this UCLA game, so we can see how.
Before you go, we want you to plug your stuff so other people can follow you and everything too, man.
Let them know how, because that's how we found you.
Exactly.
So we definitely want to.
Yeah, man. But first, before I even get into that, man, I gotta say again, man, much love and appreciation to the Golden Boot, my brothers, man, and my brothers Pooh, for letting me come on the show, man. It means a lot. Anytime two or more are gathered, that is where God is. So,
amen.
I absolutely believe that, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to come here. HBCU Nightly, man, is a perspective-based media company, man. It's a perspective-based media company. It's about being able to bring as many perspectives that we have inside of the HBCU diaspora inside of this group and having a conversation amongst each other. And so I really do appreciate having the opportunity to come on here and talk. Every Wednesday, HBCU Nightly is live on Twitter Spaces. We are treating Twitter Spaces like it is a network. And so feel more than welcome to be able to come on and have a conversation. If you've never watched the show or listened to a radio show where you were able to engage and have a conversation, that's what we use. That's how we utilize in Twitter Spaces for us to be able to have a conversation. every Wednesday from 9 p.m. to midnight. Friday nights, we're on the AMP app, from 9 p.m. to 11 o'clock. Curated, HBCU Nightly curated. We have a good conversation, and we mix it in with the music. And then today, man, HBCUnightly.com is live. Feel more than welcome to go on the show, go on the website. That's HBCUnightly.com. Feel more than welcome to go on the site. You'll see the show schedule there. We'll see everything we got going on. We got events coming up, starting with the MEAC tournament, going all the way through the summer, and then getting into football season. Live events where people can be able to come in and have some fun, listen to some good music, eat some food, and have some fun, man. And we coming down to SWAC country this year too, so we got to get it done. We got to be able to bridge this gap between the MEAC and the SWAC to build a bigger and better family, and that's what it's about. So, man, I appreciate everybody who supports HBCU Nightly. Please follow us on Twitter at HBCU Nightly. And if you ever need anything or you ever see me out and about, show me some love, man. I appreciate it.
For sure, bro. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, your Twitter spaces are the reason for our program change and why we going on Thursday nights now, because we kept missing the spaces, dog. I was like, bro, we gotta do something about this, man. We're gonna switch some days up or something, bro.
I appreciate it for real, bro. Means the world, man.
Josh, you forgetting something. You got another little show, not little show. That sounds so condescending. You got another show coming up.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, me and my brother BJ, man, we are trying our hardest to really present these things out the right way. But you're absolutely right. And I got an opportunity right now. If you give me 10 seconds, I absolutely will take this, man. We got the X's and O's show coming out. Myself, my brother BJ Jones, and Erica. Man, this is the HBCU's version of First Take, man. This is our ability. I played on the offensive side of the ball, played in North Carolina Central, played in the MEAC. My brother BJ Jones played on the defensive side, played in the SWAC at Southern. And, you got Erica in the middle, man, just kind of trying to keep us broken up apart, man, and really trying to regulate this thing, man. This is an incredible show. This is the first in a lifetime show we've probably seen inside of our media. And we're really pushing this thing forward. We're going through right now, just trying to figure out what's going to be the best mix for us from a network perspective. But we will be releasing some information here soon. But in the meantime, follow us on Twitter at X's and O's Podcast. Follow us there. And then just stay in tune. Me and my brother BJ Jones at Inside HBCU Football. My brother BJ Jones. That's my dog. You know what I mean? That's my A1, man. I know he's been on here. That's my dog, man. I take a bullet for him, dog. That's my guy. So I look forward to us being able to do this, man. That's my guy, man. Great people, man.
All right. As always, like I said, we appreciate you. One last thing I want to say, we talked about, everything. Ain't know my favorite saying. I can love things I criticize, and I can criticize the things I love. Take that as you will. And like that, we out.